Well, hello there, you fine feathered folk. And thank you for joining us on another wacky Wednesday installment of our fabled fan fiction reads for the Disinformed Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm John.
And I'm Michael.
And this is now our third insane installment in our fan fiction reads.
Sure is.
And we are extremely excited to be bringing you the fabled, crazy, stupid, insane love.
How do you guys keep doing this to me?
Well, you are as desperate for exposure as your genitals are, John.
Thanks, Wayne.
Yes.
True that.
Yes. Stop trying to make me your former co-worker.
Ooh.
I would love nothing more.
Yes, I'm not trying to get sneaky snake on you over here.
Birds are a lie.
That's what I hear. Well, so in case you have never encountered us before, firstly, our apologies. Secondarily, we have an interesting little podcast that airs every marvelous Monday morning called the Disinformed Podcast, where we will delve into a random esoteric topic, and in the course of explaining it to one another, we will lie, just to keep things interesting. And so it's a lot of fun, and if you're enjoying what you hear on this glorious little channel, then go check that out in your preferred podcast provider app. But we also have a YouTube companion to that airs every Friday called Disinformed After Dark, which is going to pop up here 10 a.m. Mountain Time, where you can find us decompressing after our episodes and delving into Chuck Klosterman's Hypotheticals, which is also just a laugh riot of a show, I assure you.
Yeah. And also, let's shake it up real quick.
Do it.
Michael, if these fine folk are enjoying what they're seeing, can you instruct them on things that they can do?
Well, there's a multitude of things that you, the listener, can do. You can smash that like button and ring that bell, leave a comment, hit subscribe.
Report the channel to YouTube.
For being too awesome.
Yeah. And not kid-friendly in any way, shape, or form.
We are not kid-friendly in any way, shape, or form. I like to specify that.
Yeah, Anna.
Indeed, we are not kid-friendly in any way, shape, or form.
Also, if we're just getting some things out of the way before we dive.
Don't we usually?
Raise your hand if you have been or ever been a professional voice actor in any capacity.
My hand is over on the shelf here, so I mean I could get it, but it would require a lot of jostling around.
You can stay in your seat. That's fine.
Next to the Mickey Mouse.
It's got a face hugger on it.
Oh. Okay.
The point being is that we are not professional voice actors. Shane, however, has the voice of an angel, and a silver tongue, if you will.
An angel
and
named
has
Erica.
Done some voice acting, and does have he's qualified to do cold reads, whereas Michael and I are barely qualified to make coffee in the morning.
I'm not qualified to breathe.
And if you need proof of that, there are 2 seasons to go back and look on what you're about to expect. We roll into this cold. Michael preps all of the fanfic scripts, so he knows what's coming up. Shane and I seldom do. Shane, I think you actually read ahead because you like to be at least semi-prepared.
No, I don't technically read. I highlight my script, and so I will catch a phrase or two from time to time and see some of the characters, but that's basically it.
Yeah, I think the only time I ever read ahead was in my Immortal, and that was because I forgot the voices that I was doing, which, again, cries pardon to not being a voice actor.
Indeed. And speaking of which, if you want to check that out, that entire book is available on Bandcamp right now, and there is a link down below in the show notes where you can go and snag that.
I would argue that it's probably better to listen to it as an audiobook than it would be to watch us fumble through.
Exactly.
Actually, no, we didn't do that one on YouTube.
We didn't do that one. No, that was broken up a bit. But we did.
Well, technically, I guess it is on YouTube, but it's at the end of episodes, I think like 40-something through 52.
Let's put it this way. The easiest way. It is worth a once-over just to see. If you ever wondered how the far right thinks,
that was the most recent one, John, not my Immortal.
Sorry, the intelligence emotionally and otherwise is reflected in the fanfic writing of my Immortal.
Indeed. I was going to say, before we digress any further, you can also find the Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles right here on the Tubes of You, so go check that out as well.
That was actually
What
fun.
you hear here, it's all have been entertaining rides. We've enjoyed them immensely, and that is why we are now diving into yet another mind-bending or mind-rending, depending upon if this is really Lovecraftian.
I was gonna say, and this one's exciting because we're jumping off of the Harry Potter ship,
Finally,
trying to see what different fandoms look like. So
it's here in spirit, though.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. If you were here for more Harry Potter, hopefully you enjoy Lovecraft. I made sure I asked a pre-roll to Michael if we're going to run into anything
problematic,
stereotypically Lovecraftianly problematic, and he assured me that's a no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's enough of me trying to apologize before I even speak.
Indeed. Well, I should also mention for the record and recording speed that this is not structured in the way that any of the previous fanfics have been. There's not organic chapters indicated, and so we're gonna make this as interesting as humanly possible and creating our own space, if you will, with Michael having segregated this a bit.
Yes. Everywhere where they wrote, this is a scene transition, that's kind of where I made cuts. So it's at least not like in the middle of a sentence or anything crazy like that. So it has some rhyme.
Now that we have a rough idea of like what it takes to do these, how many chapters or episodes do you think we're looking at here?
There are, I believe, 5 episodes.
This is a short one.
It is a short one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do believe it is 5 episodes.
Well, buckle up then, guys, because we don't have a long time with these characters.
Or so you think. Well,
or is it a mind trap?
Here we are. So, gentlemen, are we ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Give it to me.
Oh no.
Give it.
So stop it, Katie. All right. This is scene 1 of Crazy, Stupid, Insane Love, as performed by the Disinformed Podcast cast. A complete bastardization of everything H.P. Lovecraft worked to create. Old bastard's probably making earthquakes in his grave. The year is 2033. Humanity has progressed in medicines and technology, but the world remains largely unchanged. Still popular are the works of H.P. Lovecraft, the famous horror writer. Our tale starts in a quaint fishing town in Massachusetts. It is a town that holds secrets and a darker past. A town called Innsmouth. This is a transition. A motorcycle gunned down the scenic highway. The fog did little to hinder the driver. He knew his way by now. At least he should have, after hundreds of years. He had no helmet. He didn't need it. He never crashed and felt little pain. Innsmouth's gate came into view, and he allowed himself a small smirk. He drove down the main street until he came to his destination, the inn. He expertly slid to a stop in front of it and turned off his bike. He stepped off and stretched his arms. He moved the goggles from their position on his eyes to his forehead. His features were rather odd. Sea-green hair and black eyes, and strong, attractive face. He wore a leather jacket over a sea-green t-shirt, jeans and simple boots that fit snugly. No mortal could guess who he was. Thulu smirked as he watched the hustle and bustle of the small town. Various tourists came in droves to see the famous town. Little did the fools know just how real their supposed fiction was. It had actually become routine for the sum of the Old Ones. Take on human forms and vacation in Innsmouth. Cthulhu usually arrived first, after visiting Arkham and Dunwich first, of course. Dagon would show up late, the fool fishing half the fish of the sea before realizing he was supposed to be somewhere. Yog-Sothoth would arrive, and with him hell on earth. His beloved daughter, Idh-yaa, also known as Cthulhu's sadistic, insane girlfriend.
Who is also incredibly hot.
Idh-yaa tried to control every aspect of the dragon squid octopus man god's life. All he would be trying to do was have a nice, peaceful nap for a few thousand years and dream of making every creature in the universe with half a brain cell go insane. But no, she nagged him to no end to spend more time with her. Yog was fiercely overprotective of her, and Cthulhu learned quickly to sleep with one eye open in case he visited in the middle of the night for a talk. Hasta usually came, but solemnly interacted with them. Shub-Niggurath would sometimes come, if only to keep Yog from killing her favorite grandson. The only new thing that would happen this time would be an addition to the motley crew. Nyarlathotep. Even though the crawling chaos was the most active in the human world, he never came on these trips with them. Cthulhu was glad, though he'd never admit it, when Gnarl had accepted his invitation. In the Great Old One's opinion, Gnarl was his favorite outer god. He knew how to fully appreciate the ways of insanity, and the two would often spend hours pranking the others with Gnarl's zombies. Cthulhu made his way into the inn and to the front desk. He noticed with cruel pleasure the sight before him. A young girl was organizing her various bags on a luggage dolly. She didn't look any older than him in his current form. She had pale white skin and even whiter hair. She was dressed in a simple black skirt that ended just above her knee and a bright yellow sweater. Her golden eyes sparkled in frustration. He snickered and made his way over to her.
Excuse me, miss, but do you need a hand?
She turned to him and smiled softly.
Yes, thank you. This one here is quite heavy.
Of course, to him the bag would be light as air, but as he reached down for it, he had to admit it had some weight to it, and he stumbled more than he'd intended. After he had loaded it onto the dolly, he leaned against it, confidently.
So, first time in Innsmouth?
He asked.
Yep. I got excited.
I could tell.
Oh,
Yeah, once you get back into character, I know it takes a lot.
oh, jeez. Can you repeat that, Shane?
Oh, I most certainly can.
From one, I think he means to say.
Yes.
He asked.
Yep.
She replied enthusiastically.
I've always wanted to visit this town. Never got a chance till now.
Poor fool.
I always visit this town. My friend basically runs it.
He wouldn't exactly call Dagon a friend.
So, how come you decided to visit now?
Oh, a bunch of my friends visit often too. This year my best friend asked me to come with them, so I said yes, but they're not here yet.
They might not be here till tomorrow. Fog's pretty bad.
Of course, they wouldn't find their friend when they came.
Oh, I can wait, as long as the service here is good.
He couldn't hold his chuckle of amusement.
You have no idea.
And that, dear listeners, is our very engaging and interactive first installment There was a significant amount of Shane talking there, so there you go, John. You were safe.
I like the British narrator a lot. I also like how Michael has learned nothing from the past 2 seasons, and essentially he's just going to be the typecasted character in every single story that he's in. He's had now, I don't even remember how long ago My Immortal was. My Immortal was at least at this point a year ago, or at least incepted a year ago. Oh no, we're approaching when we started My Immortal. I think
we're splitting hairs, friend.
Long story short, too bloody late.
Mm.
Michael writes these scripts. He spends the most time with these characters. He is the only one that is prepped, and even though he's not a voice actor, he has never ever changed his voice for a character.
I got 2 voices. I got normal voice and I got the high pitched one.
And also, he has never not been the female character, in spite of the fact that we now have a female. Who is a cast member.
Oh, well, we don't have a role for Courtney this week. It's like,
there is a reason behind this. Okay, there is a method to this madness.
Are you talking about squids with dicks?
Yes. And crawling chaos.
Crawling in his skin.
These walls, wounds, they cannot heal. But there is a reason behind this particular casting. Okay.
All right.
We'll take your
Trust me, it will be revealed in later.
Well, thanks for the clarity there, Martin.
This is the high point of the fanfic. I promise you, it just goes downhill real quickly.
Okay, so you're saying that hilarity ensues, or
awkward hilarity?
Well, for those of you who are looking for something a little different, I have a very interesting addition that I can add into these installments. For those who are not familiar with Lovecraft and want to broaden their horizons, and may not necessarily be so keen on actually exposing themselves to some of Lovecraft's more cringe-worthy exploits,
Fair.
I have something that is an absolute favorite of mine, and it is within arm's reach. So, 5 seconds.
Where'd he go? He disappeared.
On my bookshelf right now, I have something that was contributed by one of my absolute favorite authors. Neil Gaiman did a phenomenal graphic novel entitled A Study in Emerald, which is the Sherlock Holmes story in the Lovecraftian realms.
Okay.
Ooh.
And there is a very interesting twist to the plot as well, which I am sure that you will absolutely adore if you have a chance to read it. So the book recommendation for this particular installment, just to give you a little soupçon, a little flavor of the material. Raphael Albuquerque did a phenomenal job with the artwork in here as well.
Right on.
Really marvelous material. And I will see if I can find a particular depiction here. You will indulge me for a brief moment whilst I turn, because since Cthulhu is represented here, very important for us to depict. Oh, well, here's the queen. If I can get that in a reasonable way.
Squiddy.
Very squiddy. Yes.
I can see where that's going.
Somewhere in the squiddy. So, there you are. A little taste. And there is a wealth of other individuals tackling Lovecraft's material that we can delve into here as well. But
I like that.
That is a fun new addition to this particular installment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, ladies and germaphobes, I have yet to foment my sign-off for this particular story yet.
That'll come to us naturally as the other ones have, right? So
yes.
For now, there's nothing really to work on.
Well, I mean, we'll try. But
how about like something like with it, like noodly appendage?
That is possible if you are intended to be touched by Quab. Yeah. But I believe that for this installment of Crazy, Stupid, Insane Love, I have been Shane.
I hath been John.
And I hath been Michael.
You are half the man you used to be.
Indeed.
Which is still 0.
Out of the mouth of madness we call to thee.